like emojis floating to the top of your screen. These are the best of my lives on Facebook. My lives on Facebook.
Big exciting news in Beyond Obedience front. I have internet. What? Yes. Oh, hello. We're on the air. We're on the air. Fun fact about Tracy. She loves musicals. Oh my gosh. Shouldn't the world just be a musical? We just live our lives as a musical. That'd be amazing. I'm jumping on live. I'm out on a walk with that guy. That's mean because it was just the look it's coming out the tree. This live is off to a terrible start. My first question back to anybody that asked that question, how do I get my dog to play nice? The very first question I want you to answer or to ask yourself is, does my dog even want to play? Okay. Is my dog a dog that enjoys the company of other dogs and wants to play with them? Because quite often, what we found is that wasn't the case. And we humans seem to have this idea and this notion and these expectations on our dogs that that's what we want for them, right? We see our dog and we go, I really want them to play with other dogs. I'd really love it if they played with other dogs. And I'm here to tell you, some dogs don't. They don't like it. They don't want to. So that's the first question. Now, that wasn't the case for this particular situation. The gentleman that reached out to me about his dog's playing habits. That's not the situation. His dog's just playing too rough and annoys other dogs and starts fights because the other dogs do not like his play style. And and that is a totally different topic. So let's talk about that. So you know your dog wants to play, but they're too rough or they're too high strung or they're too intense or whatever. So I want to break this down into two things. First of all, if you want to be able to get your dog to play nice with other dogs, you have to ensure that you're able to get your dog to have an off switch, right? And you're going to need to test that theory out long before you ever get your dog into the play ring with another dog, right? If you don't have control over your dog without the excitement of other dogs around, you're never going to get your dog to calm down or to slow down or to turn off in the midst of play. So we can do that in other ways. We could get the dog's excitement up without another dog and then see whether or not we have the ability to shut that down. For a guy like Apollo, who I mentioned before, he loves playing tug. So when we play tug is by my rules, right? I start the game, stop the game. That gets me those leadership points. I'm relevant to him because it's a super fun game that he loves, right? And I'm playing at his intensity and his level. But more importantly, I'm able to shut it off. When I say enough is enough, it's done, right? It's done. That's one way to start to create an off switch. I have a fun little quiz that asks, what's your dog's personality? And in that personality, we find out whether or not your dog is left brain or right brain. So let's just quickly talk about left brain, right brain. Right? Left brain is the thinking side of the dog. Okay. That's the side of the dog that engages the dog's thinking side. So that's where they access obedience commands, right? They also have a right side of their brain, and that's their instinctual side. That's the side that has play drive, prey drive, sex drive, food drive. All of those drives are found on the right side of the brain. It's not actually the left and right, just so you guys know. We're just saying it for simplicity's sake, okay? So when we want our dogs to think and we're asking them to do obedience things, we're using their left side of the brain, their thinking side of the brain. But guess what dogs are doing when they're playing? They're not thinking. spoiler alert, dogs aren't thinking when they're using their left, when they're playing. They're using their right side of their brain. Play is literally them practicing all their different drives, right? When they play, they're practicing prey drive. They're chasing each other. One gets to be the rabbit, one gets to be the predator, right? You'll see humping, right? That kind of excitement, that's sex drive. It's displaced, but it's part of the play, but that's them practicing all the different drives. So when your dog is playing with another dog, they are using their right side of their brain. Okay. And it is very hard for a dog to access the left side of their brain while they are currently right-sided, right? When they're in the midst of play and you're shouting obedience commands at them and you're going, come, no, whatever, you're using English, they can't access it, at least not quickly. It's going to take them some time, right? Because they're over on the right side just going through drives, just like prey drive and sex drive and all the different drives. They can't access that part of their brain. It's a skill that they have to learn. So if you're going to have them out there playing with other dogs on a regular basis, you have to practice that skill. And that skill is getting them to switch back and forth, right brain to left brain. So you get them to play, you get them excited, then you get them to shut off. You get them to play, you get them excited, then you get them to shut off. But you do that before you take the dogs playing. Make sure your dog has an off switch before play. Okay, and then one last thing about play. I'm dedicating every day to you.